for adults anyway. Uh, so what I've been doing lately, I started doing a camera thing and it was like hours to download. So then I started using my scanner. But some of these books are too thick for the scanner. So what I want to do is read a couple books. One is We Are the Rainbow, The Colors of Pride, written by Claire Winslow, illustrated by Riley Samels. Sorry if I said that wrong. And then Love Makes a Family, Sophie Beer. When I only see one name, that usually means that this person, Sophie Beer, is the author and the illustrator. I'm going to assume that for this one. But what I started to say is these thicker books, the board books, don't fit through my scanner. So I'm going to go back and just do this all screen or no sharing. I'm going to try to do a shout out to one of my former students and talk about what it was like teaching at high school, being gay. And then if I have time, I want to talk about another political issue. So anyway, so We Are the Rainbow, The Colors of Pride, Claire Winslow, Riley Samels. And there are the pictures. It's hard to read and show you the pictures at the same time. Hope the light is good in here. Purple is for spirit. Spirit means listening to your heart. Thump, 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 thump. I just found a stethoscope at a yard sale. I gave it to my grandson, but with supervision so they don't hurt his little ears. You are unique, important, and one of a kind. And you are, no matter who you are. Especially if you're LGBT, you are one of a kind, and you're special. Blue is for harmony. Harmony means working together, collaborating. Together, our voices can change the world. And they can, I love unity. And we have so much in common, by the way. Some forces want to separate people, but we really have so much in common and can do so many positive and good things together. When we accept each other, we don't try to change each other. Green is for nature. Nature means respect for the world around us, right? Like recycling. When we take care of the world, we take care of ourselves, and that's true. Right now, there's a lot of science around plastics and how plastics affect us. Yellow is for sunshine. Sunlight means we don't have to hide. Happiness grows when you let your light shine. And no one should extinguish your light. No one should take away your power. You have power. You're a powerful person. You have agency and a voice. And that's important for you to have that and feel like you have the freedom to have your voice and your agency. Orange is for healing. Healing means helping when others are hurt, helping each other out, watching out for each other. I was at a U2 concert one time. This lady was driving her elbow into me. It was terrible. And Bono, the lead singer of U2, yelled out, he said, not to our situation, but to everyone, hey, I hope you're all taking care of each other. Good sentiment. Friends give us strength when we need it the most. Red is for life. Life means freedom to love yourself. Our bodies are beautiful, magical, and strong. And it looks like a boy wearing a dress. In my opinion, my mindset is more power to you. Just make sure you're safe. Make sure your environment is safe. Because there are some people who aren't very nice in the world. And you have to be careful and wise. We should also have freedom to dress how we like. Brown is for inclusivity. Inclusivity means everyone is invited. The game is more fun when we play together. Black is for diversity. Diversity means that we are all different. Everyone brings something special to the dance floor. We want to celebrate our differences. It's kind of boring to be the same. Morning. It's good to have diversity and to celebrate diversity. The rainbow is for pride. Pride means being glad to be who you are. We are proud. We are loved. We are the rainbow. There are many versions of the pride flag. What are we proud of? And someone has explanations about what each version of the pride flag means. I'm not going to go into that now, but something you could do with your students or your children. One of the things I like about this is the diversity that's represented. We do have diversity. I know there's been a lot of anti-diversity in our country, I think based on a lot of misunderstandings and propaganda. I think there is. I'm gonna be careful. I probably will stick my foot in my mouth because I'm moderate. I'm in the middle. But I think there are some fringe uh, ideologies out there uh, that keep us away from the main truths that we are all very similar and that we should value each other regardless of our race. But I want to show you this was what books used to look like. This is copyrighted, copywritten in the 1950s, and everyone's white, and everyone's white. And it certainly isn't what our classrooms look like. So I like when we reflect the diversity in our classrooms, the different kinds of families, different kinds of gender expressions. There's so much we could say on that. I think I lost my train of thought. Hopefully I remember what I was going to say. I also wanted to read Love Makes a Family by Sophie Bear. And again, a lot of diversity in here, diversity of different kinds of families. Love is waking up bright and early. Looks like maybe two dads. Love is baking a special cake. Maybe a mom and a dad, or a mom and a son, different kinds of families. Love is knowing where everything is. Single mom is a family. Love is finding the biggest puddles. Love is finding the biggest puddles, and there's looks like maybe a single dad. Love is lending a helping hand. Love is watching from the front row. Could be a same-sex partnership right there. Love is playing on the weekend. An uncle, single dad. Love is making things better. Again, some religious diversity. It looks like she's wearing her hijab, very pretty one. Love is washing away the day. She dads with lots of love. Love is reading one more book. One more book. One more book. Love is chasing away the monsters. I love all the fun things they're doing. I have grandkids. I took a towel the other day, put it on a giant, huge towel. I was dragging them around the living room, the big giant circle. It was so much fun. Love is a kiss before bed. Good night. Good night. Anyway, I love the diversity in both of those. Shout out to one of my former students right here. And I'm embarrassed to say, I know your name. I'm going to say it was either Andrea or Andrea. I can't remember how you pronounce it. And I probably said I'll never forget your name. Andrea, I think it was Andrea. But Andrea gave this to me, Tennyson, a high school student at Tennyson High School. When I taught high school, I taught every grade level. Did K through 3 special day class, 3 years. 4 through 6 special day class, 3 years. I did 7th grade special day class, 3 years. 6th grade, 9 years. 3rd grade, 5 years. Reading instructor, 4 years. Resource teacher, high school, 1 year. Special day class, high school, 2 years. It's a lot of years. A lot of students. Some of those teaching assignments I would have like 5 or 6 classes during the day. So I'm estimating probably around 600 to 700 students that I have taught. So that's a lot. Andrea, I just want to mention too, when I taught at the high school with where Andrea was at, not all my stories are positive stories. A lot of them are like LGBT kids finding their rights, finding their voices. This was a little bit of a little persecution from a student. And I don't want to make them feel bad. I just want to use it as an example. The LGBT teachers have rights. So I had a student, and I would mention my husband, just like the other teachers, just like the heterosexual teachers. And I want to try to explain to you what I saw. So I worked at another high school in Manteca at the Central Valley. And at that high school, I remember a resource teacher and a special day class teacher. They both on their computers had these automatic slideshows, and it would show their pictures of their family. And this was on their desk. I remember the math department head on his filing cabinet had multiple pictures of family. The social studies teacher that was next door had a mural. It was 2 murals. It was one of he and his sons and the different kind of life adventures that they had done, bungee jumping or parachuting things, and then another mural of he and his wife going to different countries and stuff. My point is, all of this expression of heterosexuality was not, and it shouldn't be. It wasn't frowned on. Worked at an elementary school. The principal invited her husband to come share with the entire staff the occupation that he did, the art. The 3rd grade teacher invited her husband, who's an artist, to come to her class and share the profession that he did. There was a vice principal who invited her family to come help out with our carnival we had. All this stuff is okay, but it's all heterosexual examples and it's all out in the open. But then when I would say my husband this or my husband that, like in Mesa City Schools, I had to resign, file a lawsuit. We settled out of court. But at Tennyson High School, I had a student come to me and said, actually, his sister came to me and said, my mom said you have to stop mentioning your husband in class. This is not, it offends us because of our religion. And I didn't stop. Of course, it's just normal. What did you do this weekend, Mr. C? Oh, well, my husband and I did this, or my husband and I did that. Or, hey, my husband gave me these brownies today to celebrate, the Valentine's Day or whatever. So I'm sharing with, it's just references like that, just like my colleagues did. So the parent came to school and met with me. And I respect religion. I don't want to change your center. I was evangelical for a very, very long time, for a couple decades. So I don't want to change your center, but don't change my center. I'm agnostic now. She came to school and she wanted to say because of her her religion, I had to stop mentioning. It wasn't a private school. It's not a religious school. That's something you would do at a religious school, private school, not at a public school. Fortunately, the counselor and an administrator, vice principal, sat down with the parents and said, look, we're a public school. We respect all of our teachers. Our teachers have equal rights. All of our teachers can express their love for their spouses in class or make references, and we don't censor one and not the others. And so that was good. That's what should happen out of school. So I wanted to mention that. And then also at the same school, there was a presentation by a staff member, and she was mentioning the marginalized groups at our school, and she mentioned like people of color and how they can have at certain times disadvantages in the classroom, and we have to consider that. Kids who come from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, but she didn't mention LGBT. And what I've read is that LGBT teens from this is CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention statistic, kids for grades 7 through 12 have higher instances of depression, of being bullied, of skipping school because they're bullied, of suicide attempts, of early dropout rates and stuff. So I brought that to her attention during the break. I said, I didn't hear LGBT. And anyway, she said, oh, thanks for sharing. But then she continues her presentation later, and again, was referring to the marginalized groups. And she never mentioned LGBT. So my point here is that sometimes staff can be a little biased, can be biased against LGBT. I think that was a bias of hers. Now, fortunately, in that district, they had a district-wide LGBT facilitator that they had funded, which was great. Unfortunately, that person was on a leave of absence that year. I don't try to criticize. I sometimes I probably do criticize people too much, but I noticed like next year, actually, I took a sabbatical to go back to school to get my master's in counseling. And when I was done, I went back. I worked for the district again. They had me go through an orientation because I had to reapply and stuff. But I noticed at the orientation, there was all of this sensitizing toward people of color, which was good, which is fine. Being marginalized and, things we have to be sensitive about in the classroom or concerned about, which is fine. But they didn't talk about LGBT. I'm like, LGBT people have, needs, distinctive needs, higher rates of, suicide attempts, things like that. New laws that pertain to them, teasing and things that affect their success or affects their success or their lack of success in the classroom. So anyway, my point there is if you're in LEA, which is local educational agency, remember LGBT kids are a marginalized population, and it talks about that in some of our Department of Education frameworks, like the History Social Studies, Chapter 20. I think it's Chapter 9 of the English Language Arts. So read that. Looking at time, I think I have time to talk about one more issue. One more issue I want to talk about. I'll probably stick my foot in my mouth. I wanted to talk about, again, the diversity and how this is good. This is good. The diversity, the racial diversity, the family representation, different kinds of families is all very good.